Welcome, friends, to our very first episode of Wellness with Ree. I'm your host, Ree, and I am so excited to bring you the very first episode that we put together here at Wellness with Ree. It will focus on something that you need to do, whether you're starting a wellness journey or building a career or whatever facet of life you find yourself in, specifically dealing with your mind. Putting things in the forefront of productivity will always include setting goals, getting your mind developed, and starting new habits. And to help us with this very first episode, we have Miss Megan Hamm. She'll be our very first of many guests, professionals, experts in the field that we study that help us to achieve just the things that we are trying to do here at Wellness with Ree. So whether it is taking out time to start a schedule for exercise, developing healthier eating habits, changing your lab results, or focusing on your primary care, this episode will have a little bit for everyone. Where the mind goes, the man will follow. So if you're interested in getting your mind right for this journey, please log in for this very first episode that we'll be posting on YouTube and come along for your wellness. So sit back, grab a water, and enjoy. We'll do this wellness journey together. Hey, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the very first podcast for Wellness with Ree. I'm beyond excited for our first guest. It's Miss Megan Hamm. And she has a wealth of information for us. For those of you that don't know who she is, I just want to let you guys know a little bit about Miss Megan. She is a licensed professional counselor, a registered play therapist, and a trauma-informed parenting expert. She specializes in helping foster and adopted families turn emotional chaos into connection. Megan is a best-selling Amazon author. Her book, Heart of the Matter, is available on Amazon. Please go check that out. And she also uses a heart framework that helps family connect. Her goal is to erase the stigma of mental health in our society and bring people together knowing that compassion is an action word. You guys, Megan also owns a Time for Change counseling. She is the owner and therapist right here in Brookhaven. We'll be posting some information about her business for those of you that may be interested. But we're just gonna get into our questions today. Miss Megan, I am so glad you're here.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Yes,
well, thank you.
Yes, so we're just gonna jump in. Megan, just from your perspective, what role does mindset play in someone just beginning their journey toward wellness in this instant? How do they set themselves up for long-term consistency?
I think the thing about it is, I would say that mindset is going to be the pivotal point. It's going to be the primary thing. Because if you set your mind to, okay, I can do this, I can make these changes, I can do something different with my lifestyle. The times where it gets hard physically, the time where it gets hard emotionally, the thing that's going to keep someone focused is that foundation, that mindset of what they see it as or what the goal is. One of the things I always encourage people to do is to think about, with the mindset, is to be able to think about what it is that you want to see in the future, and understanding that there are small steps that they're going to take you there. But you have to first see it to be able to do it.
I like what you said about consistency. Consistency is something that I think everybody struggles with. From that struggle of people staying consistent, it could be because of stress, emotions, daily life. What mental health strategies do you recommend for clients to overcome those things in the area of consistency?
For consistency, I always encourage, I have a notebook that I keep beside my bed, and I call it my gratitude journal. And so every day, my goal every day is to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, or three things that went well that day. Now, I'm not going to front and say I do it every single day, but what it does is when we are focused on gratitude, then sometimes when we have those days where okay, we might not have drank as much water as we wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
or we might have had one or too many cookies out the pack, we can look back on our gratitude journal and see that, you know, we've made progress, we've done things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I've always messed up in a sense. And then that always also goes back to mindset, understanding that, you know, it's those small things you do every day, those small habits that you do that are going to be consistent results over time.
I just want to dig a little bit deeper into our habits. So consistency often depends on our habits.
Mm-hmm.
What are some simple, practical mental health tools that can help us effectively build habits and stick with healthy routines?
The first thing is going to be mindset. Really looking at, not even looking at, but writing down. Like, I'm big on writing stuff down, right? Pen to paper. But people who don't write can also like put it in their notes on their phone, or, you know, you can do an audio voice recording or something like that. Really, it's about the brainstorming and getting it out of your head. But the mindset of what is this for me, right? Being really honest with yourself about what your why is. Why do you want to have a healthier lifestyle? Why do you want to, you know, lose weight? Why you want to drink more water? Why you want to do those things? Because we have to be grounded in our why, grounded in that foundation. So, like, for me, if it's, you know, if my why is for a healthier lifestyle is to be able to, you know, one day be here for my grandkids.
Right.
You know, whenever I have them. 15, 20 years, girl.
Way on that.
But, you know, but being able to be here for my grandkids, that why is going to ground me more than, oh, I want to wear a size 10 or I want to wear a size 8. Because that's the outer thing, but that internal why. So I would say mindset, identifying what your why is. Also being able to give yourself grace. Because consistency doesn't mean that you do it well all the time. It just means that you don't stop. Right?
That's a good point. Let's just say that again. I think that was a huge light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So consistency doesn't mean that you do it well all the time. It just means that you don't stop.
You don't stop. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's just talk about the stopping. Let's say we stop and we have a slip up or a setback. I know we'll feel discouraged, just emotionally down. From a counseling perspective, how can practicing self-compassion, because I know you mentioned that earlier, that word compassion, how can self-compassion help you get back on track?
Self-compassion to me is the idea that I am worthy even when I make mistakes, right? A lot of times we feel like if we make a mistake or if something doesn't go right, that means we're not worthy or we don't deserve good things. One of my favorite quotes right now, it says that I am a masterpiece and a work of art, right? No, I'm a masterpiece and a work in progress. Okay. Is what it says. And so what it just, the idea of, even though I'm continuing to grow and I am a work in progress, who I am right now is still a masterpiece. And I'm still worthy of the thing. And so I think self-compassion comes in with that, because if we feel like if I mess up one time, then it's over with. Like I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to lose these 10 pounds or whatever your goal is. Then sometimes that will be the thing that sets us back.
Gotcha. Mental health and physical health are often kind of like deeply connected. One affects another. How can improving emotional wellness, such as managing stress or anxiety, make it easier to stay consistent on this journey that we're talking about?
I like the way you said journey, because ultimately that's what it is. It's every day you're getting up and you're making a choice, right? And you're making a choice that I'm going to do something different today. One of the things that I encourage people that I work with is to not think about, oh, what I want my life to look like, what I want this to be in 10 years, but say, today, what am I going to do today for whatever that goal is, right? Let's say your goal is to drink more water. And so today my goal is I want to drink more water than I did yesterday. And not think about, man, I already did stuff for 3 days. But like, okay, what am I going to do today that's going to help me be able to drink more water than I did yesterday? And to be able to measure that. Because your goal may be, 6 bottles of water, and you only did 3, but 2 days ago you didn't even do 3.
So that's 1 up. That's 3 up.
Being able to celebrate those small steps and not look at it as a setback.
This was a question that I actually pulled from someone that let me know, that I actually let them know I would be interviewing you today, and they wanted to know, they are not comfortable going in the gym, they're not comfortable kind of being out in the public eye because they don't feel ready. What are some strategies for that person that doesn't feel ready to exercise with someone that's maybe exercising for the last 5 years? What type of tools or mindset or whatever from your perspective would help a person just get started?
Yeah, I think you can start at home, right? Like there's so many, and then with YouTube these days, you can YouTube anybody, right? Doing pretty much anything, but I think YouTube, and there's this thing, accountability goes a long way. So even if you don't feel comfortable going to the gym or going outside, maybe having an accountability partner where maybe they're in the gym, but you are at home and y'all are checking in with each other, say, hey, did you do this, did you do that, did you do the things, and then being able to get that comfort level. I was actually watching a story one time about a lady. She wasn't on My 600 Pound Life, but she hadn't left the house in I think like 10 years. Like she had been home reading for like 10 years because of her weight. And so she started getting up and walking around her room for 5 minutes a day. And that's what she did for 5 minutes a day. And she did that for a few months. And then she increased it to 10 minutes a day. And then she left her room and went into the other part of the house. And then she finally went outside, and like the way the story ended was she was running a 5K.
Wow.
Over, I think she said like between a year and a half and 2 years, she went from not being mobile, being at home, to going to run a 5K. And I recall that story because it reminds me of like those small steps and not giving up. Like somebody would look at and say, well, man, what's 5 minutes a day going to do?
What is 5 minutes going to do?
But it's just, it's about building something and building onto something else.
Great. You guys, I know that this is something that we all struggle with as far as leaning in and going together. As we just end this interview today, if you could leave everyone with just one thing to hold on to, like just one nugget, what would that be?
The one nugget would be that, it's cliche, because, it's on the poster when we were in elementary school, if you can think it, you can achieve it. Yes. But the reality is that's the truth. Like if it's something where if you have the thought about it and you have the vision for it, put it on the poster board and put it in your room. I know people come to my house and they use like when they go to my bathroom, like I have sticky notes all over my mirror, and sometimes people go to see what new ones I have. But also on my side of the bedroom, I definitely have my vision board, and I have my goals, and so every day I get up, that's what I see. Like this, like it puts my mind on the thing that I want to do today. It sets an intention, and so whatever it is that you have as a goal, set your mind to it. But if you have to put it visually on your refrigerator, if you have to put it, on your wall, if you have to put it in your bathroom so that you can see it. I also have affirmations on my phone as my screensaver. So when I'm looking at my phone, it's like, okay, Megan, remember that you are worthy, that you are, you are a masterpiece. And so those are things that I would encourage you to do, because that's going to help with that mindset and set you up for success and whatever else you do.
Thanks so much for joining us here today on Wellness with Ree. If you found today's podcast informative, which I hope you did, and you are ready to start consistent lifelong tips to help you in your wellness journey, you found the right place. Please look out for more guided podcasts with professionals offering tips that are sustainable, understandable, and most importantly, achievable. Your consistency is the key to your success. As you can see from our first podcast, starting with the mind and getting yourself past the motivated stage and preparing yourself for longevity is key to your success in wellness. If you are ready to become a member of Wellness with Ree, please reach out to us at wellnesswithree@yahoo.com. Our phone number is 769 373-6072. I'm available as a family nurse practitioner for primary care, quick care visits, nutritional counseling, as well as goal setting for your illnesses, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, arthritis. Whatever you have, we can work towards your wellness together. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. Many, many more to come. Remember, your consistency pivots you to wellness. I hope to hear from each and every one of you guys soon. Please be on the lookout for all of our new podcasts, as well as our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for our public challenges. We here at Wellness with Ree are here for the long run, looking forward to improving your health. Again, we welcome you, and very, very special thank you to Miss Megan Hamm for our very first episode. Please check out Megan Hamm, who has a local business here, A Time for a Change Counseling, right here in Brookhaven, for any of your mental health or therapy needs. I'll be posting her information on the link description below. Until next time, live well. Thank you for choosing yourself today by listening to this podcast. Hope to hear from you soon.